What's going on, Financial Journey?
Hey, thanks for having
Uh,
me.
no problem. Excuse my voice. Trying to work through that. So we're gonna go on with the video because we got a lot of stuff to talk about Mullen. I appreciate everybody's patience with me. We're gonna kick this video off. Um, One thing I wanted to discuss in this video is the securities purchase agreements with Mullen stock. There's been a lot of selling stockholders that have been possibly selling, executing a lot of warrants out in the open market and contributed to the down pressure on Mullen stock. And with all the negativity in Mullen right now, it's making it easy for short sellers right now. So, what is your take on these securities purchase agreements and everything as a whole right now?
Well, it's interesting that the fact that they have the 10-cent mark. It definitely goes to show that um, they have a very big financial incentive that if it ever does dip below that to kind of bring it higher, because or else they're essentially losing. So I think there should be that mental support level around that 10-cent range, largely brought on because of the insiders, which are, I guess, consequently causing it to go down directly. So you're right to think that, yeah, that 10-cent mark is a very good underlying support. So yeah, it's definitely good to know, and hopefully those insiders will stop selling and start to realize that, hopefully with good news coming out, that Mullen's just going to go up from here.
Yes, that's great. And I know a lot of investors in Mullen were wondering why the stock price continues to go down on good news. And these selling stockholders definitely play a part of that. And like you said, with the 10-cent mark on the securities purchase agreements, especially with the one in October, where Mullen offered 900 million shares to be sold by selling stockholders, it did say a purchase price at $1.27 and then a floor price of 10 cents. So with Mullen hovering in this 10-cent to 11-cent range, that might have some relevance to that as well. So,
Yeah, it's gone
um,
down a lot, like way too much. It's massively oversold, and I think it's just a lot of negativity around there, and um, people aren't really valuing what they can actually offer versus they're just looking at a lot of the short term issues.
and I know you also pointed out the amount of buy orders on the day, I think it was March 16th. We saw a massive inflow of buy orders come in around 4 p.m. right at close. That may also have something to do with maybe investors, big investors being on the sidelines, knowing about the securities purchase agreements floor price of 10 cents and are starting to accumulate since it's at this low level.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think a lot of, especially with what happened with the Feds, the Powell talking, I think a lot of people are going to start to look for a lot of good stocks that are completely just been hammered, very much oversold. So a lot of big institutions will be looking for pretty much Mullen in some sense, and I think it'll come down to them just producing vehicles. But that's typically one of the biggest things that a lot of institutions typically wait for, is confirmation that they're actually doing something operationally. So I think the next couple of weeks are going to be huge for Mullen.
Yes. As well as also Mullen needs a form of revenue coming in. That's another big thing because we know they are trying to raise cash, and unfortunately, they're stuck in these binding agreements with these selling stockholders that are only diluting the share price. So if Mullen could have a solid stream of revenue coming in, it could do away with some of these people that are just blindly selling shares into the market and bringing the stock price down. And Mullen can raise cash with their own revenue.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be their 2023 target, to get rid of a lot of those insiders. And assuming they pay off and have all the warrants converted, and in theory they can easily push them out to some sense. It'll cost some money, but I think it can be done.
Yep, exactly. And like you said, hopefully the IGO, we get updates on the IGO as well as any type of update on deliveries towards the end of this month to various customers, whoever they may be, and potentially as well a government contract coming down the pipeline. And also got to hear from Menzies, the update from that Menzies pilot program. So that's a big aviation service. So it's worldwide. So that'll be big as well. If the results are positive, then that could be another potential purchase order from Mullen Class 1 vans down the line as well.
That would be huge. Yeah. And all of those are probably going to be coming in the next 2 weeks. So yeah, Menzies, I believe that's going to be April 7th, if I remember correctly. It started at February in the 60-day trial. Then the iGo, that was delivered, I think, earlier this month. And typically, I think they have had around 2 or 3 weeks to try out the samples and see if they're going to commit through the rest of the order. And then yeah, I think just the initial Randy Marion stuff as well. So yeah, there's a lot of good things coming.
Yep. Looking forward to hearing updates on that. Um, yeah, just we're gonna have to see what happens. The actual charts are looking very oversold. We know that, and it's looking like it's well overdue for a bounce. Um, I made a couple videos talking about Mullen's RSI being at certain levels, uh, resembling levels back when November when we had that pop from 21 cents to 60 cents. It's looking very similar to that. So if we're in this oversold territory, just like then, maybe something is brewing up to push it to the upside with this upcoming news at the end of this month.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, um, anything else you might want to add about anything coming up or?
As far as I guess other things coming up, I think David hopefully will just do some PR, but I think that's everyone's investors' wish right now. It's just some validation, but he said in previous podcasts as well that he's not one to. He's going to let this stock speak for itself, and unfortunately, in any other company that would work perfectly fine. But I think right now, as you mentioned, with the insiders kind of tentatively selling, causing selling pressure, it shorts are able just to take that and run. So I think you're right in saying that they're kind of stuck in a wedge right now. But as what you mentioned, it's a lot of things are coming very, very soon. So it's just a short term issue that investors are dealing with. And if you buy now and have a long term time horizon, like that's where you'll be able to make some serious money.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are very much like to the point where they know that Mullen is going to be profitable sometime in the long run. But as of right now, there's a lot of negativity with lawsuits and, these selling stockholders, you know, some entities within the company that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And as well as like executives selling shares as well. A lot of uncertainty with that. So all of that just contributed to the down pressure, the downward spiral. So like we were talking about, as long as they can put something out to the shareholders, as far as like, you know, the Dragonfly did come out, that PR did come out, but, that's not something that's going to be like right now, obviously. And that's what I think investors need to know. They need updates for stuff in the near future that can, bring in revenue or put more eyes on Mullen.
Yeah. And one thing as well, I think they're good for a lot of advertising is Bollinger, but they it would be good to see a little bit more operational updates because I think that is going to be outside of the whole class one right now. I think Bollinger is going to be a very big part of Mullen's success in 2023.
Yeah. And I kind of read through that document that you were sharing on Twitter about Mullen's lawyer stating that Mullen has no commercial operations going on. I was interested about that.
Yeah.
Like, like as far as like, because I made a video as well talking about, a lot of people are seeing a lot of vans. We're seeing a lot of vans being posted, whether it's at the Tunica facility or some at Randy Marion. And then we were all wondering like where are all these vans coming from? So it's like, are they producing somewhere and not saying anything, or these are just acquired vans from deals? I don't think it really matters though, because revenue is revenue, deliveries are deliveries. But as far as like production, the production side of it is trying to figure out where all these vans coming from.
Yeah, I was kind of curious why his lawyer must have said that. Could be just an angle that he's trying to play, portray Mullen in a certain way potentially, because everything could be gray, and you can say mean one thing but say it in like 6 or 7 different ways. So maybe, I don't know, there's a lot of different ways how to interpret that statement from his lawyer. But still, I agree with you. There's a lot of vans and a lot of pictures to kind of justify that something is happening, whether they're Elms vans or not. Like, I don't think that really matters, because it still generates revenue. So
Yeah. And I think David Mystery has like a clear-cut plan as far as what he wants to do with the company. And he knew that there was going to be, a lot of dilution within the stock. I think the company already knew that. A lot of shareholders may or may not have known that, because they put it in the prospectus, the S3 filings in fine print, that it will have a dilutive effect on the stock price. And if, investors are not reading those fine prints, then they won't really see that part.
Yep, very true.
But overall, I like what the company is planning to do in the long run. I like I like the products, I like the cars, I like the vans, I like the trucks, all of that. I think it's good products. I think Mullen's going to be doing some great things down the line. And as well as like helping Menzies Aviation go green and carbon neutral. So they're going to be diversifying a lot in their portfolio. So
yeah, no, I agree with you. I like the product's really good. Just short term, I think it's not just Mullen. A lot of companies are requiring a lot of money and capital right now, especially if they kind of came into this whole higher interest rate environment unproductive, or not producing any vehicles, and a non-rev company or pre-rev company. Like, everyone's diluting. So to kind of pinpoint Mullen as a bad guy for doing that, it's not necessarily the case. Like, everyone's doing it that needs it, but there's a lot of positive things, so that's what you kind of have to look at. And especially more so, I think, out of all of this, David's really shown that he's good at finding deals. He might not essentially have all the background in the automotive industry, but he knows how to get deals, and I think that's pretty apparent.
Yeah, he connects with a lot of different people from different backgrounds, brings a lot of people with a lot of experience into the company. So yeah, I agree with that.
Go. Less than abundance. Look who raised from the dungeon. Still come through in the clutch. I'm that dime in a dozen. Filling up clean to the function.